Thank you
good luck.
guys. So it's a so big pleasure to be here in Stockholm Digital Health Days, and we all are living unique moment in transformation of healthcare and well-being, and conditions are set for that. There are major drivers which push us for this change. Obviously, urgent need, aging population, chronic diseases, costs of healthcare are going out of hands. That's why governments and countries have reacted to this. There are healthcare reforms, reforming, and countries are finding the ways to speed up the innovation. Also, globalization has taken a new turn to speed it up this further. Industries are mixed, value chains are mixed, and so many players are coming to healthcare who haven't been there before. Of course, then digitalization, the theme of these days, speeds this up further and provides excellent opportunities for combining data, collect data, combine it, and artificial intelligence will put that to another level. And we have never lived in times when it's been so nice to be entrepreneur. You could say that we live in a golden age of entrepreneurship. There's never before talent, capital, resources, and wisdom moved so quickly and concentrated to hotspots which create loads of innovations. So this session is all about two modules. First, we have a short version of the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank. We have 5 selected entrepreneurs telling about their vision, how to transform healthcare. Our investors will give feedback after presentations. When that model is done with 5 companies, we move to investor panel. And let's start by introducing our investors, the sharks or dragons. And let's start from Faz.
I'm Faz Bashi. I'm with a group in Silicon Valley called Life Science Angels. I live in the San Francisco area. It's great to be here. I come every year for the Entrepreneurial Forum, Sweden USA Entrepreneurial Forum. In fact, I'll be back in 2 weeks again. But it's wonderful to be here at Digital Health Days. Our group focuses on medical device, biotech, pharma, and digital health. We have 100+ members. We do about 8 to 10 deals per year. There's a combination of things that we look for, but I think you'll get a sense for that when I start asking questions from the entrepreneurs.
Hi, my name is Guido Hegener. I used to be an entrepreneur myself. I built 2 startups, and then in 2013 I started investing as a venture capitalist in digital health startups. And I work with Digital Health Ventures, which is a VC fund based in Berlin and focused on early stage deals in Europe.
Yes, hi, my name is Min-Sung Kim. It's, I think, the 4th time that I'm here, actually. Always good to be back in Stockholm. I'm actually from Germany. I don't look like it. I always get a lot of irritation when I'm especially in Israel, when they finally find out that I'm from Germany. But I used to, true stuff. So yeah, I'm basically, I was also an entrepreneur, sold my company, and after that I joined also a venture capital fund 2013. I was partner and managing director of Excel Health. We invested 500K to 5 million euros into digital health companies. I led the analyst team there. Since this day, I've seen around 2,500 digital health startups, and I'm looking forward to see the startups here that are going to pitch.
And so about Startup Health. So Startup Health is global transformation company. We have the world's largest portfolio of digital health companies, over 160 from 15 different countries. We are lifelong accelerator and investor. So we have a lifelong coaching programs for entrepreneurs. Then we provide access to investors and customers. Then we have a pure community of founders, our startup portfolio founders, who continuously change information, what works and what doesn't work. We also have a media where we support the unique brands of these portfolio companies, and we do funding. So our key players are like, they can be big companies, healthcare providers, payers, and then of course investors, where we create the deal flow for them. But in core, everything is built for these entrepreneurs. And stage is set. We have a fantastic guys here. I know these three musketeers, and they will nail down the companies if needed, but they are kind guys today. So let's start from our entrepreneurs. And the first company we have is Doctrina, and is it Thomas Erjavik? Yeah, here. I show you the coordinates. So give a hand for Thomas. This one. And that's...
Hi, guys.
3 minutes. Don't start yet. I have a time control here. So
On your marks.
ready when you are.
My name is Thomas. I'm a co-founder of Doctrina. We are helping pharma sales reps, sales force, to be better at sales. Just to remind you about global pharma market, it's 1 trillion and growing. On the other hand, these guys spend like 30% of their revenue on sales and marketing. Did you know that healthcare professionals spend like 30 hours per month on online education, while they spend 5 hours per month on face-to-face meetings with pharma producers? But what is more interesting is that pharma producers spend 40 billion on face-to-face meetings, which is like 20 times more than they spent on online education. Obviously, the old model is just not working, right? It's inefficient. Low reach, they reach only 20% of sales force, no feedback. So we created Doctrina, online education platform enabling pharma companies to educate pharmacists with real-time feedback loop and from their customers. Our clients are already like, we work with 7 out of 10 biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, in 5 countries, and they're our returning customers. Growth, we have a steady growth of healthcare professionals. Also, the revenue looks nice. Competition, sure, there is competition, mostly offline, ready for transformation. Then we have some online platforms like video platforms or forums, but they are more like, to get understanding, they're like Craigslist and we're like Airbnb. Market opportunity, it's amazing, 5 billion in Europe and US. So we look forward for this amazing opportunity. If you don't have an idea, as well go to this market. Today as tomorrow, we prove that we can earn money. We are aiming to finish this year with 1 million of revenue. Opening UK, by the way, we are hiring, so if you know somebody for UK, we'll be happy to meet them. Following Germany next year, and so on. Team, what you see here is like the best team what promise and some money can buy with clear vision. All our team members have international experience in pharma. And yeah, with a clear vision for the next 12 months. We are just finishing the fundraising. We are opening UK, following Germany. We have like really amazing product pipeline. And want to wrap up and finish. We are just closing the round. We are raising 1.2 million. We have commitment for 1 million. So late adopters have 1 more week to join us. And yeah, feel free to ask anything or just follow up us.
That was quite accurate. So, and then questions.
How do you create barriers to entry? Do you have any intellectual property? I know you have first mover advantage, but what is your sense of how you prevent others from getting into your space?
It's okay. First mover approach is good, but if the followers come, sure, it doesn't count. We are locking them with some contract and with some like really magic tricks. So there were already some players on the market. We just they change and go to our platform. But one of the things is also we are bringing revenue to pharmacies, pharma chains. So we increase because our average margin is failing. So they're looking for new revenue streams, and with us they can make more money. So obviously we can onboard them very fast, lock them with like 5 years contracts. But then we need to innovate, right? We need to cover as much as possible. We need to have we are trying to open as much as possible countries that we can get global deals. Hope I answer you.
Okay.
What I found very, congratulations first, that you already have 35,000 customers on the pharmacy side. If I read that correctly, that's users.
Yeah.
That's already quite amazing. So I would be interested in how you distribute your product towards the pharmacies. What is your approach there?
Okay. Our approach is we signed a contract with each pharmacy chain, with the owner.
With the chain?
Yeah,
okay.
so that we onboard them. We have like really clear database. We are renewing every quartal. They are sending us if there are some changes. So we have accurate data about name, surname, which pharmacy unit he's working, his email, his contacts. So we can have a good relationship with them, distributing knowledge and giving follow-ups and so on. This takes like 6 to 8 months, but when we have it, this is also one of the advantages, right? Because we have with almost 1 year advantage on if somebody would like to go and start opening new market.
And in the geographies very active right now, is the doctor and the pharmacy, is it at one location so you can get a prescription at the pharmacy already as a
No, not yet. We see so much opportunities just focusing on pharmacies. It's an amazing market, and I think we will not be able to scale so fast if we would just go too wide. And there's a lot of crowded doctors, but there's fucking a lot of money at pharmacies.
Because what would be interesting is to make the plan how to. You said that you want to tackle Germany in the next year or the year after, to really have a deep look at how you can approach the pharmacies in a very scalable way, because there is a lot of regulation in place, and you probably know it already that in Germany usually you can, as an owner, you can only have 3 pharmacies, so it makes a lot of customers. But of course, if you find a way to tackle them, that would be very interesting.
We already have a nice model about it. We tested. It will work. We are also collaborating with biggest wholesalers like Phoenix Pharma Handel in Germany, where we are partnering with them, Croatia. They could be also our acquiring partner in the future. Or IMS, we are talking with them as well.
I think this is a very, and especially in Germany, a wonderful thing, because pharma is spending so much money on agencies to actually train these pharmacies. So congratulations on that business model. So I believe there's a lot of efficiency that you can get out of this. The question is, but what does the future look like? I mean, what can you do? You have the software now placed in the pharmacy. From there on, what does your vision look like?
Our vision, we want to just imagine the guys who know the pharma side. Now we know IMS is the biggest data player in the world in terms, one of the biggest in terms of sales data. We want to give them other health feedback of pharmacies. What is going on? So for example, they get net promoter score of each pharmacy, what they think about their products. So they rather can focus on opportunities, not on relationships, right? What is the future? We are already having pipelines some other products like booking for sales reps and sell the data back. We are trying to connect with our API to IMS and Viva because they're good CRMs. And did I answer you or not?
Yeah, no. The question is can you do a billing system? Can you actually influence the pharmacist actually to hand out a certain kind of drug? When you have, let's say you have a symptom, and then you have a prescription, and then the pharmacist can actually choose between some different drugs. But the question is,
short answer, and then we
we tried this product and we kill it fast. It was not working, obviously, and not scalable as Doctrina. There was a lot but we are innovating. We are looking for other solutions. We don't know what will be in 5 years. But yeah.
Let's talk about that later. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And next we have AYO, and we have either Branislav Nikolic or Alexander Dimitrov. There you go. Nice work.
Hi,
And
it's Alexander. I just
yeah,
did the.
yeah, there's the mic.
I have one already.
And there's the, there you go.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex, and I'm one of the founders of IO. And I'd like to ask you, how many of you keep snoozing your alarm clock in the mornings, especially during the short and gloomy winter days up in the north? And how many of you have experienced jet lag and its nasty symptoms? Well, both of these result because our body clock is not adapted to our contemporary lifestyle. Lack of sunshine distorts our bodily functions and leaves us with lack of energy. We have developed the solution to all of these problems. I would like to introduce to you IO. IO is a smart eyewear that uses the power of scientifically backed blue light to help people optimize their biological rhythms in a fast, efficient, and safe way. IO is helped and fully controlled by the IO app. Light has been researched and shown in the last more than 20 years in leading universities and institutions such as Harvard and Oxford that it has a tremendous effect and importance on our general well-being and is the most efficient way to shift a person's biological rhythm. Therefore, by wearing IO in as little as 20 minutes a day, you can beat the jet lag, improve your sleep, or boost your energy levels. Based on that proposition, we have a vast business opportunity in front of us, starting with the jet lag market, because it's easy to approach, there is no dominant solution on the market yet, and it's quite big. But additionally, and almost simultaneously, we're approaching other markets, including sleep problems, shift work, as well as winter blues and winter depression. Last year, we've launched an Indiegogo campaign, and we've reached our goal of 50K in just 2 days. Currently, we are almost 500% funded on our campaign, and we are $235,000 in revenue. We have received almost 1,500 pre-orders. Based on this success, we have been featured in some of the biggest media outlets in the world, and we have received massive interest from distribution partners, including some of the biggest airlines in the world. Based on that, we're expecting to sell more than 50,000 units next year. Our team is well-rounded and complementary and consists of young and bright minds with business and IT background and experience, accompanied by senior entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial gurus, including Bob Dorff, who is also an investor in the company. We also have a scientific advisory board consisting of leading and pioneering experts in the field of chronobiology who help us stay on the edge of research so that we can stay on the edge of innovation. We have the first 2,000 units order made, and we are expecting the first units to arrive any moment. Next month, we are shipping the first 2,000 units. We're looking for a seed round of $350,000 to help us with the commercial launch of IO, ordering another batch, and additional business operations. So Dragons and the rest, whoever is interested, I'll be happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come and sit.
Thank you.
Alexander, thank you very much for that pitch. Yeah? Where are you based, actually?
Where?
Yeah.
We're currently based in Bulgaria,
Okay.
but we're also thinking maybe to move some operations to the US as we see it as one of the biggest markets.
So what I want to understand is like in terms of competition.
Yes.
There is already a product out there on the market. How are you better than them, actually?
Yeah, well, the main focus we have is on the software, because both of my founders and partners have extensive software development background. And we have developed an algorithm in the last more or less 2 years because we want to make a personal and smart solution out there. It's not a regular light therapy product, but it understands your needs, what you'd like to use it for, how exactly to use it, and it guides you throughout the whole process in order to make it easy to use, understandable, and user-friendly. Plus, it adapts and learns from your experience and gets better with every
So it's
user.
basically more user-friendly than the competition. Like I think it's called Neuron, I think. It's more user-friendly than Neuron. And this is your competitive edge, or what exactly? What does make your company and your product unique?
Yeah, I think it's the software on one hand side. On the other, of course, is the design as well. Because Neuron, it's a sleep mask, so you have to put it on and basically sleep with it, more or less. With the glasses, you can continue doing what you're doing, and you get the therapy of 30 minutes.
Last question. The thing is, like, you need to still produce it, right? So there are like, how is the iteration going? I mean, how can you make sure that actually, when do you want to ship out the products?
Next month.
Next month.
The first 2,000 units are being ready next month, and we're aiming to ship them. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Can you say something about your unit economics, the selling price, and maybe the margin that you reached at the moment?
Of course, yes. So we started selling on Indiegogo with a price of $169. Currently it's $199, and we're selling quite all right. The retail will be $299. And the production price is around $40, $45 at the moment, with, of course, the potential to drop.
And then your marketing outlet, I think it's an obvious way maybe to put it in an airplane magazine, or do you have other channels
airports,
in mind?
duty-free stores, retail as well, e-commerce as well, Amazon Launchpad, Amazon in general.
I mean, just sorry when I interrupt. Yeah, I mean, I find this. We both found this topic very interesting when it first appeared. And the question is, I mean, I know your competition, and they are also targeting, especially airplane or flight organizations. The question is, how can you offer them a better value proposition in sales if you want to cooperate with them? Because obviously jet lag, it's a big thing. How can you stick out? How can you make the airlines say, I want to cooperate with AO instead of with Sleep Neuron?
Well, in general, I think first of all the market is quite big in the jet lag, and there are many airlines. We are already in discussion with a few. We have been with discussion with them for quite some time.
That's what they say too to me. That's the thing, you know, and that's why I try to get the edge. You know,
I think it's just cooperating with them, starting pilot tests, and experiencing the effect, and then making bigger. There are many markets in addition to jet lag as well. So I think there is enough potential to grow.
So just a quick question on product awareness. What percentage of your budget do you think you're going to have to allocate to marketing? And also, how do you know that this product is actually having the effect that you want it to have on the customer's experience with it?
So first of all, regarding marketing, I think we would allocate probably 10% as more or less the standard to begin with, and we would focus a lot on content marketing, building awareness, getting the right distribution partners in place who would be willing to educate the consumers. We're talking, one of our partners in the Netherlands, for example, is into neuroscience products, so they want to make seminars, educate the consumers, and also get ambassadors on board. That's why we're going for airlines. There is interest from high-profile athletes to bring it out there just to show it. And regarding the effect, first of all, the science has been out there. The effect has been proven in other devices. What we're doing is taking existing technology, putting it in something of mobile and portable, and making it smarter. We're starting our clinical trials as well very soon. And additionally, of course, we're delivering in very soon, so we'll have the first impressions. And we have tested, of course, the prototypes with low-scale testing group.
Thank you a lot. It seems that in the next few years there are loads of people in congresses, in multinational congresses, working with the classes on. So thank you a lot, and we will big hand to. And next is Good Life Technology and Hendrik Jürgens.
One of your companies, huh?
Here. Yeah.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Hendrik Jürgens, the CEO of Good Life Technology, member of Startup Health. And our expertise is digitalizing the consumer experience in healthcare. So the company was founded back in 2013 by a bunch of experts from the games industry. And my own background comes from games industry as well, from Nokia, Electronic Arts, and Microsoft. And in the games industry, consumer is always the king. So we want to bring that consumer-centric thinking mobile services and business models to healthcare as well by digitalizing the existing services in healthcare. So today our focus is on physical therapy, and our mission is to modernize the physical therapy processes for better consumer experience, outcomes and quality with the help of our own proprietary platform for mobile services. Now the problems in physical therapy today are, the main problem is that people are not doing the exercises at home because people are lazy. If there's no one motivating them, there's no one doing any exercises. So that leads to long and expensive recovery times. And also there's a need for additional revenue sources for therapists today and also tools to actually show that their treatment is effective. So how we create value in physical therapy? Number one, we bring all the exercise instructions all up to date, always into people's own devices. We also support mobility, remote care, quality control and reporting so that the payers of the treatment get the best value for their money. And we also have features that help physical therapists to earn more money with, for example, digital services and digital sales, content sales, and also help them to engage their clients better. So our remote trainer concept actually helps so that the physical therapists still use the same software that they're using today, but the consumer has the option to choose whether he wants or she wants the instructions onto her mobile or mobile device, or for example a big screen, or even with the motion sensor technology, so that the software actually sees what kind of quality the training has. But it's always the physical therapist who has the control over the content. Now the business model is based on licensing. We are licensing our platform to healthcare service providers. And all our solutions are sold as services. Now we work in physical therapy. There's of course a lot of competition in that field, but I think we have something that no one else has in physical therapy. We have a global distribution network, an agreement, as well as a content agreement with PhysioTools, who's the global market leader in exercise software. So PhysioTools, they are active in 64 countries. They have 250,000 physical therapists globally. And what we've done with PhysioTools, who's our licensee, we licensed our technology to PhysioTools and developed them a mobile application called PT Momentum, which is actually the UI for getting all the exercise instructions on your mobile device. So today it's live in 27 countries, in more than, actually there's an old number, but more than 1,200 different clinics. And it was launched 6 months ago. So 6 months' time, we were gathering information and feedback from the field, from our customers and users. And now I think we are ready to take the next step, and that's why we are raising 1 million at the moment to launch new premium solutions into the PhysioTools distribution channel and also to go to other healthcare sectors. That's Good Life in a nutshell. Thank you.
Thank you. Then it's question time.
Hello.
What I'm not sure if I understood it correctly, the PhysioTools app, is it something you develop on your own, or is it an agreement that you have with the software company?
So PhysioTools is a company that licenses kind of a physical exercise library to physical therapists. So when you go to see a physical therapist, they look at you and look what's wrong, and then they go to the library and select all the right exercises for you. So our mobile solution today is integrated into PhysioTools Online. Mm-hmm. So always when they print out the current best practice, which is the A4 paper handout, The information goes to our cloud service, and once you download the application, you get all the instructions with videos and stuff on your
So just to get it right, you have a data connection to PhysioTools,
Yes.
and your value creation then lies in bringing the exercises home to the people that are doing them, so that they can use their Chromecast, put it on the screen. And this
So, better service for the service providers, but also motivating the end users, the consumers, to exercise.
So I mean, it's a good thing to have this partnership. Put differently, this is a very, very large partner or client of yours. How do you think about in a way, the dependency situation that this creates?
Well, it's our go-to-market strategy to have the biggest player in the market who can provide us with the best content in the market and also global distribution channel. We could also go directly to physiotherapists. There are 1 million approximately, but then we would need to have, you know, a very big organization with sales and marketing people.
Obviously, but this is really what I have to say that separates you from other companies that I've seen in the space, because they always have this distribution problem that you just named. So I think it's a very interesting twist on how to make the first few and very good and quick steps in the market. However, I would be very interested in the long-term outlook when digging deeper in your plans.
Yeah. We have the roadmap, so maybe we can look at that later.
Let's talk about business models. Huh? I mean, you said 919 clinics and several thousands of therapists are working with you. Impressive number, if I may add, for 6 months. But the question is like, how much? Let's go down to the unit economics. So, how much revenue did you make until now with these 919 clinics?
Yeah, this year around 300,000 from those users. I think the revenue for this year is around 75,000. But that's the whole kind of the strategy. This is our entry-level product, which is free to use for the physical therapist, free to use for the end user. And now the next step is that we launch premium services that are not free.
Okay, so it's basically it's a premium model for the end customer.
Yes, and in this case, it's PhysioTools who's paying us the license fee for all the users.
Okay, so just to understand the B2B deal that you have with PhysioTools, so they are paying you basically for entertaining the users?
Basically, yes.
How much per user, if I may ask?
Maybe we can talk about the numbers once I get down from the stage.
Which way is the exclusivity? Are they exclusively licensing from you, so you're not allowed to go anyplace else?
That's correct. That's
Exclusivity.
correct in physical therapy. So we are not allowed to work with competitors of them in physical therapy. But on the other hand, they will not give their distribution channel to anyone else.
So what does that do to your exit strategy then? Does that mean that you're really looking at becoming acquired by this company?
No.
You
could look at both ways.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just curious about that.
So you acquired the company at some point. Maybe, all right. I like that.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
To move on. Thank you, Hendrik. And next, Soma Analytics and John Scott.
No?
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Scott, and my company, Soma Analytics, are looking to address the problem of stress in the workplace. According to the World Health Organization, by 2030, the #1 disease in industrialized countries will be stress-related conditions. And the effects of stress on UK businesses are quite large in terms of costs. Somewhere between 3.8 billion and 26 billion, and that's a large range, but depending on which study you look at, it's a lot of money, is the cost of stress on UK business. There's a large prize out there. There's up to 13 billion of budget allocated to stress in the US, the UK, and Germany. And we want to be initially quite focused on where we target. So we're going to target the UK market first up. We're going to target the knowledge-based economy with companies that have 250 or more employees. So SOMA's stress management platform consists of 3 different elements. The Keller Mental Resilience application empowers employees to measure and manage stress using tailored interventions. Validated algorithms and analytics enable HR departments to make smart decisions for their organization, and the Keller dashboard displays employee well-being data in an easily understandable way, whilst preserving, obviously, employee confidentiality. So who are SOMA? SOMA are one of Europe's most awarded young companies in the digital space. They've recently received 1.8 million euros of funding to deliver the world's first controlled randomized trial of smartphone-based stress interventions. Our lead product, Keller Mental Resilience, is a smartphone application and analytics package that combines patented technologies with advanced techniques in psychology and computer science. Employers are able to identify and care for at-risk groups, reduce attrition and absenteeism, and empower employees to improve their well-being and productivity. And along the way, they'll also increase employee satisfaction as well. We have a talented management team in place, and we also have heads of marketing, sales, and product in place as well. And we're looking to raise around £1 million so that we can further accelerate growth. And the funds will be used to expand in Europe, to recruit additional salespeople, and to develop our service capability further for for corporates, and to expand our product range within people analytics. So, question time.
Yeah, thank you.
Since I'm from the country, from Germany, where people, compared to the rest of the world, seem to be very, very occupied with the topic data privacy, and since you're located and based in Germany as well, I would be interested in your experience after you sell to an employer, how the adoption among the employees really develop, because I might figure that they could be, even if it's not rational, be a little bit afraid that when they have mental problems, the employer gets to notice this and they might run into trouble and so on. Maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Sure. Well, we have a detailed privacy policy that we have in place that we use with employers and employees, and we ensure that there's a minimum number of people that can be identified in any one group. So there has to be a group of say 6 in a department or 6 in a country before they can get down to that level of analyzing.
And how is adoption developing? Do you have specific onboarding mechanisms in place once you sell to an employer? How does it work?
We do. We supply employers with a lot of support. We support them throughout the whole process. We'll give them an internal launch plan. We'll also have on-site days where we go in there for maybe 4 or 5 days in the first week and drum up engagement and adoption that way. And in the companies that we've worked with to date, the employee adoption has been very good. So.
Yeah, I've been keeping track on you since a long time. Yeah? So the question is, how many additional clients did you get? I mean, you were focusing on corporate clients, how I understood it. So how does the revenue stream look like up to date?
Well, up to now, we have worked with a number of clients on a trial basis with many of them, and we've just received funding from the European Union, And that funding means that we need to deliver a randomized, customized trial. So we're looking for further companies to prove our concept on a larger scale. So we've proved our concept with a few very large companies already and have some very good testimonials and statistics that have come from that. And the key for us now is to deliver that trial on a larger scale and to start selling at the same time because our product's ready for that now.
So do you have a price range that you already agreed on with the corporate clients, or is it still like a negotiation process?
We do have a price range. It's very much dependent on the number of employees in the organization, and it's a mixture of licenses and services and consultancy that we provide along with the data.
And did you sell the product, or was it just up to the state only clinical trials, I say like pilots and trials?
I believe we sold it to one client so far, but we've had some very successful clients in addition to that one outside of that where we've done it on a trial basis. So some large trials in one of the big four, for example, went extremely well. And we've had a law firm as well that's gone extremely well, and some others too.
Are you still everyone in London, or I saw that you are also based in Munich now? I mean, are you all based in the same location at the moment?
Most of us are in London. We have our CTO, who's another German, very intelligent German guy, based over in Munich.
Who's your chief yes officer? Who do you need to get approval from first? Do you go straight to the CEO, or who's
Chief what officer, sorry?
yes officer? Who says yes?
Well, it's mainly the CEO, that's right, yeah.
It's you start from the CEO level?
Yeah.
And so how does that sales cycle happen for you? Do you just go straight to the CEO, or do you start from HR and then work your way up to the CEO? How does that happen? And how long does it take?
The sales cycle could take anywhere between 3 to 12 months. It really does depend on, it's quite complex because it's a B2B buying process, of course. So there might be people that want to buy the product in different geographies around the world. But what tends to happen is we find that companies want to start in a certain geography or a certain department and go from there. And then once their colleagues find out about it, they join in. Okay. So it's really targeting the head of HR, the CEO, and maybe some around them as well.
Even if we are over time, how you select the most stressed companies? so the ones you target are the ones who are struggling the most. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, we go. There's a lot of them, right? So
short them.
There's a number of ways that we can find them. So even the modern ways, like looking at Glassdoor, for example. But the network that we have actually through the EIT and through others is a very good network. So we get a lot of personal recommendations that way. Plus, we have a very good CEO who's very good commercially, who has a large network as well, and just mainly through the network. But then now that I've joined recently, we'll be doing a bit more mass marketing as well.
So stress-free environments for better innovations. So thank you, John.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the last one in hand is scan, and Peter Stroud. Let's give some energy to Peter, hey, to start with.
Hello, welcome everybody. My name is Peter, and I'm from the company Hendrik, which actually follows the heritage of Ignaz Semmelweis. I'm not sure if you heard about him, but he was a Hungarian doctor, and he implemented the first hand hygiene program in Vienna because he found that the doctors are carrying bacteria on their hands to healthy patients, and these patients are actually dying due to these infections. Today, the problem is still very relevant. If you go to a hospital in the developed world, 5 to 10% of the cases, instead of getting better, you will acquire an infection. This means extra hospital stay, extra treatments. So what you see here, the numbers, we are spending billions of euros and dollars to treating these infections, and actually healthcare-associated infections became one of the leading causes of death in the developed world. The other bad news is that with growing antibiotic resistance, actually in 20 to 30 years, probably we will have no drugs to cure bacterial infections. So what can we do? doesn't really work.
Drum roll.
Okay. So what can we do? We have to kill these bacteria before they reach us. And the accepted method for this is to use alcohol-based formulation and to rub your hands with it. The estimation is that approximately 30 to 40% of the infections could be prevented by this. There are two things to pay attention when you look at hand rubbing, when you do it, because people tend to forget to do it at the right moment. There are a lot of companies that are already offering some solution for this, but how to do it properly, there are only two companies that can offer a solution, and Hendrik is unique because it's the only one that can actually objectively measure your performance on this. How do we do it? This is the scanner we are using, so actually we are scanning your hands after you apply the alcohol-based formula, and we show where is disinfected, where it's not, and we give immediate feedback to the healthcare workers. Very importantly, we collect also this data, so the decision makers who have to decide about implementing improvements will get a report. They will see what's working, what's not working, and where, and they can make a decision on improvement programs. So this can be the backbone of a continuous quality improvement program, which we know is the way to go forward in improving healthcare. The technology is clinically validated, so you see the more people use the scanner, the less mistakes they do, the better they will cover their hands. And actually, we launched the product this year, and we have already the first reference sites. The largest hospital in Europe, AKH Vienna, is using it, and we just signed a strategic agreement with the largest alcohol-based hand rub manufacturer, Hartmann Bode. So there is really interest in it. Our next big step is to move to the US, because by size and by the structure of financing, this is probably the most attractive market for us. An average US hospital spends almost $500,000 a year on fighting these infections, and we believe we can offer them a really cost-effective solution to reduce this number. On the long run, we are planning to enter other markets beyond the healthcare, so clean manufacturing, food industry, pharmaceutical manufacturing, anywhere where you need sterile hands and you want to prevent infections before happening. We have our place, and also in the hospitality industry. Thank you very much.
Go ahead.
So I'm just curious whether you've done any analysis on what this technology would do to workflow within a hospital. I assume it's in the hospital, right? It's not the clinic, or is it both?
At this moment, we focus on hospitals. This can go to nursing home as well. We don't have any studies, but this will be probably a slightly slow adoption. So first, what we see is that they would use it for training. They perform an annual training every year. The next step, we expect that they would use it on high-risk departments, like intensive care units, because that's where you have the most vulnerable people. And as our technology develops, we are working already on R&D to solve some issues that prevents it from data use. Our vision is that in the future, you can't enter a department without going through this scanner.
So I just want to make sure I understand the process, though. So I still have to do my hand scrub the normal way. I dry it, whatever it is, and now my next step is I put it inside of the machine, right? So then I get a feedback that says, ooh, you didn't clean your hands properly. I have to go back and wash again, and then come back and do it again, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And this moment, this is only a training. Okay. So you do it like every day, and then you learn it. So this is what the graph showed. By the fifth measurement, roughly, you are close to being perfect.
Got it. Okay.
But what is the financial incentive for the hospital or for the caregiver to actually implement this process, this additional step?
Yes. So treating one patient that got an infection in the hospital costs roughly 10,000 euro, for example, in Germany. So if you can prevent just one infection by this device, you already earn back the price of the device. There are various numbers available. There are general numbers on the overall cost, but it's practically what they can skip is additional hospital days to be spent in the hospital, normally in the most expensive areas, intensive care, and skipping additional treatments. So this is a lot of money to be saved.
Before going to the US, can you show actually that with one hospital or with one trial or pilot that you can reduce the numbers of patients that get infected in the hospital?
Yeah, we don't have that study yet, but we are planning that. So that's in the pipe. The study we have now shows that the technique actually improves.
In which part of the hospital sections you do in that study? Have you planned that? Is it like surgical department or a care home or a...
Yeah, it's not for surgical disinfection because that's a different procedure. So disinfection you have to do practically anywhere where you are touching the patient. Yeah, so there is a very wide application area in the hospital. This is not appropriate for checking surgical disinfection.
Just one quick. I think it's very difficult to add another step in the workflow process. Yeah? I mean, how is the adoption rate of this process? I mean, do the hospital says now it's obligatory, or how do they use it?
Yeah. So first of all, healthcare workers, if they can improve, they want to improve. So we didn't see the...
Is it like that? Because I can see that it's very stressful sometimes in the hospital, and then it's like...
It is, but it's such a key performance. What you have seen that there are people going to the hospital to get better, and 5 to 10% of them actually dies because they went into the hospital.
I know, but you're trying to change a habit. I mean, people in the hospital, they're working, they have their workflow, and now you're introducing a new machine that you, like an additional step. And this is a question, like how high is the adoption rate? I think that would be very interesting to see. I mean, you know, since the time is done, but like off stage, we can definitely talk about this. I'll be very interested to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you a lot. And now we a little bit let the discussion going like longer and longer, because this is why we build value also for entrepreneurs. So we have only a few minutes for discussion. So, gut feeling, which would you pick up? What we saw today, and what is the top target? And have you been in discussions with any of these?
I just got to say,
companies?
all of them were high quality presentations. So I think we should just give everybody
Yeah.
a huge round of applause for very, very, very good presentations, very, very interesting opportunities.
You want to start? I shall start. All right. No, I really have to say this as well, that the presentations themselves were really, really high quality, and I enjoyed it a lot how the companies were presented, so it was definitely not boring, quite the opposite. And from a first gut feeling, I think almost all of them I would be interested in taking a deeper look at them. So for us, you know, we make two investment decisions, right? The one is about the money, that's a lot later, but the one that comes before is about time spent on evaluating the companies, and I think this was really interesting today. And what I found the most impressive that I saw is with the very first company, with Doctrina, that they already have 35,000 users on the pharmacy side, and that's definitely something where you say, okay, I need to tap metrics
and stuff.
Yeah,
like it's
exactly. A lot more metrics go onto this, but if you have this in place, at first it shows a certain success in marketing, even though you don't know yet if there is usage or not, but it's worth going into the details here.
Yeah, I mean, I can just repeat what my predecessors said, and I think like what I love to see is basically that there are a lot of platforms. I mean, Doctrina has a platform, IO had a platform. Not so sure about Good Life, in which kind of direction they're heading, but you know, I think the digital health ecosystem matured a little bit over the 4 years. First, it was all apps, and now we see more and more that all these digital health companies, they started out with that, and they see the bigger picture moving towards a platform. And as a venture capitalist, we have a very, very sharp eye on that, because when we have, let's say, when we have apps, they could develop to a really nice trade sale, like let's say 200, 300 million euros. However, when it comes to platform, it has the potential to become infrastructure. And when you are getting into the infrastructure, that is much more interesting for us because that might have a higher gain in the later valuation or can end up in a higher acquisition or even in an IPO. So when you look at Doctrina, I have to disclose that I'm that I'm one of the advisors there. This can be a huge infrastructure play since the pharmacies are basically very untapped source, and they are actually distributing the drugs out. And pharmaceutical companies, they have huge problems with generics. So
obviously,
I thought the presentation was great. Storytelling was fantastic. I mean, we all look for the same things: management, IP, barriers to entry, market opportunity, exit strategies. I would just say that, you know, ultimately the startup is a business, and the business is not just raising money. The business is actually creating value for the customer.
Yes.
So the closer you get to that proposition, the more interesting it does become. But there's huge potential in all the companies.
Yeah, I see the same, and obviously we all of us want to talk with all of the companies. Let's give one good incentive for entrepreneurs. One final comment. What you're looking on these teams now, it's all about getting known with founders, sometimes for half a year, you follow up. What sort of like chemistry, dynamics, and competence you want to see? What do you want to feel when you talk with the founders? Like today or next coming weeks?
I like to see a glimmer of self-awareness in their eyes, because at the end of the day, yeah, you're telling me a story, but I also don't want to be snowed by your story. And I don't want to believe that you're personally drinking a Kool-Aid that you're not willing to step out of, if that makes any sense. So having a clear understanding of your business opportunity and being able to say, I don't know something, or I will eventually learn about it, I'm going to look into it. I like the sense of knowing that I'm dealing with an honest and just authentic human being.
Before the discussion, you asked us if we are more interested in, was it hackers, hipsters, or hustlers? Yeah. I like that typology a lot. However, I have to say it goes into a similar direction that you mentioned, that it's more about, of course it's also about the skills, but that's usually what's reflected in the materials and in the data that you bring with you when you talk with your investors. But for us, it's even much more important to know if it's a person with an open mind. So in one way, the ambition level needs to be very high or extremely high in order to multiply the money that you invest and to make a venture capital case out of it. So in itself, this is a very big challenge. But if you look at it in more detail, it's quite challenging also to be a person then that is very, very ambitious, but at the same time not too convinced about himself. Yeah. And this is a very strange combination in a way, but it would be desirable from our point of view, because what you don't want is somebody that's extremely ambitious and too convinced, and maybe also sometimes too arrogant, and doesn't take in feedback and data points in order to adjust the path. But what you also don't want is somebody that's not ambitious enough, because then it never can grow to the size that you want it to grow.
We're gonna kick out soon. Kick out some things very shortly, like in 10 seconds.
Market dynamics, basically. The CEO has to understand the market. If he doesn't understand the market, then it's like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, there are very good companies or very good teams which are in the wrong market, but this is basically for venture capitalists, it's not interesting, because we want to invest at the right time when the market picks up. Honesty is a very, very solid and important point. I've seen some different cases, difficult cases, where this was not the point. then can the person hire? Hiring is a key attribute, yeah, because you need to attract the best people in the country or in the continent. Financial literate, he has to be financially literate, so he can basically talk to the investors and knows his numbers. And basically, yeah, like I said, market dynamics, one of the key attributes. You can score any meeting with the VC when you can show basically that you have the market knowledge and you know what the market, where the market is going to develop.
And that's what we look at the startup health like. Big vision, 10 times master plan to execute it, then talent to do that, and of course, self-awareness in personal and company level. And you always have to be batteries included. So you just keep going and going and going on. Long-term commitment. So thank you very much. That big hand for investors, and let's take it from you.